Okay, so let's take a look at where we left off last time. And I'm going to actually expand this up a little bit. And with the WASD keys, I can walk, I hold shift. We've got all these walls up. And what you'll notice as you continue on, if you decide to become environment artists or technical artists in the future, is that a lot of times you're going to be at this point where you'll modify a level to best meet the narrative if you guys have a narrative designer on your team. And so just kind of thinking about that. All right, so we have our walls up, and what I want to do is start putting in doors. So we're going to go up to Tools, and then Pro Builder, and then Pro Builder window here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to New Shape, and just going to make a bunch of cubes. So you'll see that there's these different options, but the second one here is just the regular standard cube. And you'll notice that I actually made this wall a little bit too small compared to where this is an architectural design thing that shows that there's two doors that open out. Now it's what I'd like to do is kind of stay true to that. So I'm gonna just sort of move this out here. Now, some of you might actually have, and I don't know why mine's not doing it, but there's an actual grid material. So if we type grid here, it's the actual Pro Builder. Let's maybe type Pro Builder and let's see. Let's go into the Pro Builder folder. See packages, Pro Builder. And there's generally a material. Looks like it's missing. That's why everything's coming up gray. You should have like this grid material. Um, yeah, it looks like it's missing. I'm gonna pause the video and see if I can reinstall Pro. Well, actually, let's just do it together. So here's Window Package Manager, and then let's go down to Pro Builder here and see what's going on. And looks like all this stuff. Ah, so we have a URP project, and you can see it says Universal Render Pipeline Support. I'm going to go ahead and click Import on this under Samples, and let's see. Let's see if that. I think this is our missing material. Okay, I'm going to. This might be all we need. So inside of this samples folder here, it looks like. Let's check here. Yeah, that's the material that's missing. That's what we're looking for. All right. Yes, I think that's sort of a step that we need to just be aware of as we move forward. All right, so with this selected, I'm just going to fix this just to show you how to do it. Really, we shouldn't spend too much time doing this, but here's Tools, Pro Builder, and then Pro Builder window. And what we're going to do is just select those side faces and just shift them over. It looks like I have a cut there on mine, so I can go to vertex mode, highlight all these vertices, and I'm gonna hit F to focus so I can just kind of focus on rotating that around. Just sort of move that over. I can also grab these, just move them over. And this is gonna be kind of tough for a little while for you as you get more comfortable. This is not gonna feel as natural. But anyway, here's our door. And then here, same thing. I'm gonna just place this back in here and maybe grab that same material, drop it on here, and I'm going to duplicate this. So tools, Pro Builder window. And a lot of times I'll just kind of like dock it somewhere, maybe down here, and then just sort of shrink it. Sometimes I'll do it here depending on if I'm strictly just working in modeling mode. So I'm just going to click on that side and just move it over like this. And then go back to object mode. And I want to center pivot. So that centers this pivot point in the center. Then I'm going to hit Control D and duplicate that over. So something like this. And then I'll probably just make this same thing. Doesn't look like this is sitting. Let's hit F to focus. Look, it's sitting exactly. Let's see about here. And there's always a level of refinement with all this stuff. Like you want to be sort of meticulous, the best that you can. So I'm going to hold Shift on both of these and then click this, and that'll allow me to select the verts on both. Then I'm gonna hit R, just kinda close this up a little bit. R is the scale tool. Go back to object mode and select both of these, hit W, hit Control D, and I'm just gonna make these similar doors here. And then same as before, just grab these verts on the side. And then I think this is a great room. So this might be like a door that slides in. You know those screen doors? Let's go to object mode here. I'm gonna hit Control D. So we just have to decide like we are gonna do a little bit of scripting in here and just sort of figure out, well, how do we want these doors to behave? Because we're gonna animate with this. So let's just kind of move this up and then move this here. And maybe there's a pillar or something there. So we could kind of like be a little creative here with our door, just kind of scale that in a little bit. And we'll just, maybe we can just make this like see through or glass. I'll show you how to make transparent material. I'm going to grab this, hit Control D to duplicate it. And then I'm going to, same as before, maybe grab these verts on the side and then scale this in. And then this will be like a pillar. So it's okay to use some of the objects in the scene. I'm going to, again, I want to make sure that it's a little bit wider so that kind of sticks out a little bit like that. And then what I might do is just go ahead and delete this, then hold Shift as I select both of those, and then hit Control D and just move this over to save time. And I don't mind that the glass is inside of here because what I might do is when I go to animate this, is I might just have these slide over, or like maybe it'll slide, but all these will slide with it. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But yeah, hit Control D again, duplicate it. Hit Control S to save. And then we're just going to look for other areas where we can copy these. Um, so, for example, like this door, let's hit F to focus. Just a quick way of jumping around. I'm going to hit Control D here, move it over here, sort of place it inside of here. Hit F to focus. This is a little bit smaller. And this is a good way to gauge too. Like, notice this is smaller than here. We really should bring all of these down so that they're more in line. So this is going to be a kind of a tough move. I'm going to drag a big one here, hopefully grabbing all those verts and just shift them down a little bit. Hit F to focus. So it lines up. Looks like I left a gap here too. So grab these and push it in here. And then same as before, grab this here just as I go, sort of correcting everything and constantly hitting Control S to save it. Um, so let's just this, like we have 3 doors here. So I'm going to do the same thing. Go to a new shape here, just grab a cube. And the reason why I'm going, I mean, I could grab, honestly, this could just be trying to think of the best way to handle this. This could be really 2 doors and like this. And then just, I could have them, let's hit R and scale them in a little bit so that it's kind of hidden in the wall. But I could have it like kind of fold out, you know, because it's going to be hard to, because this is like a patio area. And depending on how you want to make your game, let's hit Control D again. And I'm going to grab this and just drop it on there. And just going to power through this, Control D to duplicate, put this here. So we're just kind of closing everything up. Control S to save. Here we go. And maybe grab this guy, hit Control D. And some of these doors, um, I'm going to show you in a second. We can just leave open because otherwise it could be like our maybe our robot character is a detective or something. Um, let's hit R to scale this in just a little bit, and got a call about something nefarious that went down. So this is a hall here, and we'll leave this open, maybe a patio area. Now the two-car garage. Let's save this. I'm gonna go back to object mode. Remember to keep clicking between these, otherwise you'll be like, "Why am I hitting Control D and it's not duplicating?" So this will be the garage door that flips up, and we might have to put a bar across there. But for now, let's move this. Just close it up like that, and then what I might do is like it looks like this is a wall and not a door or anything. So I'm just gonna close that wall up like that. All right, so um, let's make an opening. So let's position our little robot character uh, maybe here, and then what we can do is you can see in your Pro Builder options off to the side. There's this center pivot here, and that notice that pivots centers the pivot there. But when we hit E to rotate, it rotates it like this. Now the trick for moving the pivot on this is if I go to face mode and I double click this, I'm gonna hit F to focus. Um, if you double click it, the whole thing will, I believe, get highlighted. Let's try this again. Actually, let's go ahead and hit W, move it out here. And then let's go to face mode. There we go. I double clicked it. You could also marquee it like this, and it'll select all of it. Now, what you can do is pay attention that the pivot on this is in the center. We want it to be over here. So essentially what we want to do, actually, let's go ahead and line up the center with like this line here, is I want to move the entire mesh so that that edge goes here. Now watch what happens when we go back to object mode. So that moved the pivot here. So that kind of rotates. Now, so we could, this actually, maybe should be the way to do it, is move that. So let's just center pivot back on this guy and then just put this back here. And I'll do that trick one more time to show you. So uh, notice that this line essentially lines up here. Let's actually hit center pivot. That line lines up here. So I'm going to go to face mode. I'll double click it. You'll see that it'll go down here. I'll move this pivot point here and then go back. And then I'll hit E to rotate. So this door is open. And then we'll move this guy here. And then the reason why the pivot point, so in here, it was set to center. If we go to pivot, it'll go back to the character. So that's why that pivot point moved. I think I might have hit something and that switched the pivot point back to this, but just so you understand why that's different. So now when I go inside of here, I'm going to click inside my game view. I can go in. I'm kind of trapped here. So what we'll do in the next video is we'll take a look at, and you want to be conscious of stuff like that. See that hole here? You want to be conscious of stuff like that. But in the next video, we'll take a look at, um, well, you know what? Let's move into texturing. Let's get it all textured in the next video, like some wallpaper and stuff like that. And then what we'll do in the next video, some videos in the future is we'll look at scripting it.